Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise, pulling out those crucial nuggets of information to get you truly dialed in. Today, we're zooming in on an area of market analysis that, well, it might seem incredibly niche at first glance, but it actually reveals some pretty compelling global economic patterns. Our mission is to take a detailed market analysis report on isophorone diamine, or IPDA as it's often called, and really unpack its most important insights for you. Our source for this deep dive is a comprehensive analysis. It's titled Isophorone Diamine Market Analysis, Global and Regional Outlook to 2033. So we're going to look at the key figures, sales from 2021, expected numbers for 2025, and projections all the way out to 2033, plus those all-important compound annual growth rates, the CCGRs, and just quickly for those less familiar, IPDA is a really versatile chemical. It's a key ingredient in high-performance coatings, think industrial flooring, durable adhesives for automotive parts, electronics, even specialty composites like wind turbine blades or sports gear. It gives these materials their strength, their longevity.
Exactly. And that's precisely why understanding the dynamics of, seemingly specialized global markets like IPD can be so insightful for you. It's about seeing that bigger picture of economic growth and significant regional shifts through a very specific yet incredibly telling lens. You'll get a concise understanding of this industry's trajectory and maybe even some clues about broader market forces.
Okay, so let's start with that global picture then, because it really sets the stage. The overall global sales revenue for isophorone diamine, it shows pretty consistent upward momentum. Back in 2021, the market recorded sales of 620.632 million.
620 million, yeah.
By 2025, that's expected to climb to $719.4 million. And looking further out, 2033, the projection is 966.593 million. So that represents an overall global compound annual growth rate of about 3.761%.
Right. And what these global numbers really suggest is a very steady, kind of reliable growth path for the IPDA market over the next decade or so. It's not, explosive growth, but it's consistent expansion. But while these overall figures give us a good benchmark, the real story and where it gets truly fascinating, that lies in the significant variations, the distinct dynamics playing out region by region.
That's where the nuance comes in, right? So if the global market is growing steadily, where's the real momentum? We're going to break this down region by region now, and, well, you'll see some dramatic differences in pace and scale. Let's start with the region that's really leading the pack in terms of projected growth.
Exactly. It's crucial to understand which areas are truly driving or, significantly contributing to these global figures. This regional breakdown gives a much more granular and, I think, insightful view of where the market's energy is concentrated and maybe why.
All right, let's dive into Asia Pacific then. This region is, well, it's undeniably the growth engine. It's highlighted as the fastest growing area in the IPDA market. So in 2021, Asia Pacific generated $236.461 million in sales. By 2025, that's expected to jump to $280.206 million. And by 2033, the projections soar to $394.37 million. This represents a really robust regional CAGR of 4.365%.
Yeah, over 4% annually on average. That's significantly outpacing the global rate. And what's truly compelling here isn't just the scale, it's the speed of growth across Asia Pacific. Looking closer at the countries, China is certainly leading the region. Its market is projected to grow from about $74.5 million in 2021 to nearly $127 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 4.549%. But India really showcases remarkable momentum. It boasts the highest CAGR in the entire region.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 5.222%, growing from roughly $32 million in 2021 to an estimated $59 million by 2033. This explosive growth in India, well, it could be linked to its booming automotive and construction sectors, right? Both major IPDA consumers for coatings and those big infrastructure plants.
Makes sense.
And Singapore also shows a high growth rate, CAGR of 4.834%, often driven by its advanced manufacturing R&D hub status. And Southeast Asia is significant too, with a CAGR of 4.95%.
Wow. It's fascinating how countries like India, with its massive industrialization push, and Singapore, that high-tech manufacturing hub, how they're propelling this already dynamic region. It really suggests the demand for these high-performance materials like IPDA. It's intrinsically tied to deeper economic development, technological advancements there. Okay, so from that dynamic growth in Asia Pacific, let's pivot over to North America. This region, it remains a significant, more mature market for IPDA. In 2021, North America contributed $152.675 million, expected to grow to $172.296 million by 2025, reaching $219.417 million by 2033. So the regional CGR here is 3.068%.
North America is indeed substantial, yeah. Though, as you noted, its growth is, well, steadier compared to Asia-Pacific, not quite as high-flying. The United States is still the largest contributor in the region. Sales were $125.652 million in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
projected to hit $178.232 million by 2033. That's a SAGR of about 2.95%. Interestingly, though, Canada actually shows slightly stronger growth within North America.
Oh.
Yeah, SAGR of 3.778%, growing from $16.3 million in 2021 to about $25.5 million by 2033. This difference, it could reflect, varied investment cycles or specific industrial expansion, maybe Canada's energy or infrastructure projects needing durable coatings.
That's a good point. That observation about the US and Canada really highlights those local nuances. Does that kind of regional variability continue as we shift focus to Europe, or do we see a more unified trend there?
That's an excellent question, and in Europe, actually, we see even greater diversity in market performance.
Mm.
The continent as a whole shows, let's say, a moderate growth rate. In 2021, the market was $134.056 million, projected to reach about $151.8 million in 2025, and likely hit $197.185 million by 2033. So the overall regional CGR is 3.324%.
Right, a moderate overall CAGR. But what does that actually tell us when we look at individual countries? What stands out?
Well, it tells us the overall number can be a bit deceptive. Germany, for instance, shows really robust growth. It boasts the highest regional CGR at 4.019%.
4%.
Yeah, growing from about $26 million in 2021 to over $41.5 million by 2033. That strong growth is likely driven by Germany's, strong automotive base, its emphasis on high-quality industrial goods.
Right.
But then, in stark contrast, you look at Russia, it has the lowest CGR in the region, just 1.778%.
Oof, that's low.
It is. Sales going from roughly $6.9 million in 2021 to only about $8.5 million by 2033. This notably low growth, it's a stark contrast, likely reflecting, recent geopolitical challenges and their impact on industrial investment, trade, and specialized chemicals, and other significant markets. The UK has a CGR of 3.644%, France is at 2.816%, Italy around 2.981%.
It's a really fascinating illustration, isn't it? How macroeconomic factors, even geopolitical ones, can play out so differently within one continent, even for a very specific industrial chemical. That range from Germany's strong growth to Russia's slowdown, it paints a very diverse picture. Okay, now let's head south, South America. This market, while smaller in absolute terms, generated $42.824 million in 2021, expected to reach $50.2 million in 2025, and projected to hit $68.841 million by 2033. But the region boasts a strong regional HGR of 4.023%.
That's fantastic observation.
Yeah.
You're right, this region shows a strong overall KTR, actually not far behind Asia-Pacific in its growth momentum. A lot of that expansion, particularly you see it in Argentina and Chile, it seems tied to their developing infrastructure, growing manufacturing sectors, increasing demand for durable goods.
Makes sense.
Argentina really stands out with a strong growth rate, 4.536% KTR. Sales going from $7.7 million to over $13 million by 2033. Chile also shows promising growth, a CGR of 4.243%. It suggests that as these economies mature, so does their need for high-performance materials like IPDA.
Yeah, it's a great example of where the smaller scale doesn't necessarily mean slower growth at all. It points to significant emerging opportunities, really, and the expansion of industrial applications for IPDA across South America.
Okay, shifting gears again, let's look at the Middle East. We see another strong growth story unfolding here. The Isophorone Diamine market, with about $28.5 million in 2021. Projected to grow to $33.4 million in 2025 and reach $45.594 million in 2033. That gives it a regional CGR of 3.961%.
Yes, and what's noteworthy here is the Middle East's consistent, robust growth. It's nearly matching South America's pace, actually. The UAE leads with the strongest growth in the region, a CAGR of 4.666%.
Impressive.
Going from about $4.25 million in 2021 to $7.36 million by 2033. Turkey also shows good momentum, CAGR of 4.276%. And this is likely fueled by their continued investment in infrastructure, construction, and that push for diversification away from oil, all leading advanced material solutions. It really paints a picture of steady, strategic progress in this market. Shows that IPDA applications are finding consistent demand and expansion across the Middle East as development continues. Okay, finally, let's journey to Africa. This market recorded $26.067 million in 2021, growing to $31.474 million in 2025, and expected to reach $41.187 million by 2033. The regional CGR here is 3.419%.
Africa, of course, is a continent of immense diversity, and that's absolutely reflected in its market performance for IPDA. South Africa is leading the growth of the region with a strong CAGR of 4.071%,
Okay.
growing from about $9.2 million in 2021 to $15.6 million by 2033. This could be tied to its more developed industrial base, perhaps. Nigeria is also showing solid growth, a CAGR of 3.653%, which speaks to its large, growing economy and, well, significant infrastructure needs.
It's another excellent example, isn't it, of varied development paces even within a single continent. Some areas are clearly accelerating faster in their adoption and demand for isophorone diamine as their economies evolve. So, to kind of recap the overall trends from our deep dive today, the global market for isophorone diamine is definitely set for significant growth over the next decade, no question. This growth is driven strongly by Asia Pacific, which, as we saw, is projected to be the fastest growing region. But importantly, we've seen consistent and healthy expansion across nearly all other regions, too. Understanding these detailed regional and country level figures, and maybe digging into the why behind them, that truly offers a nuanced view of the market's health and its potential future.
Absolutely. And then this brings us to a final provocative thought, maybe something for you to consider. As we've seen, the growth rates for a specialized chemical like IPDA, they vary wildly, region by region, even country by country. So think about how these specific disparities might reflect much broader global economic trends, unique regional dynamics, things like industrial policy, infrastructure investment, maybe even geopolitical stability. What underlying factors in your region or maybe your industry might be either accelerating or slowing down demand for specialized materials like this? And what might that imply for investment or perhaps innovation in the years ahead?
Great food for thought. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the isophorone diamine market. Keep digging into the data behind the headlines.